So let's dive in. I want to cover a lot, but I don't want to say too much. I'd like to have a powerful word economy that transmits the essence of what I'd like to impart to you, which is very simple, which is that well-being, health, and healing are your true nature. That well-being and a sense of inner connectedness and inner positivity is who you are. And when we connect fully to that in a way that transforms all of our beliefs that we buy into, where we limit ourselves, anything is possible. And I'll tell you, the most important factor in people's health, and when I say health, that can mean a lot of things, right? And we'll define that in a second. But when I say health, I'm really saying an optimal state of well-being physically, right? Doesn't everybody want to be physically optimal? I can imagine most of us in this room have experienced times when we haven't been. True? We want to experience an optimal state of well-being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I'll let you decide what spiritual means to you. But it's that sense of connection to something much bigger than ourselves. Something much bigger than our little worlds. And so this optimal state of well-being, of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and we could even add one more thing in. Cultural or societal, like what's our health as a group? What's our health as a country? What's our health as a system that promotes inner peace and justice and mindfulness and passion and creativity and inclusivity and equality and respect? How are we doing there? What's our report card there? So when we can connect beyond the beliefs that keep us separate from that, anything's possible. Now, that doesn't mean you can cure any disease, and there's a distinct difference between healing and curing. And I'm much more interested in helping people heal. And sometimes that means they are cured, but you can always heal. You can always heal, because sometimes circumstances don't change. But the pain that people perceive, or that you perceive, or that I perceive, is never once in the circumstance. It's just not in the circumstance. Does that make sense to you? The pain's not in the circumstance, but we often identify the suffering and the struggle and the pain we feel with the circumstantial evidence around us. And we confuse that circumstance with who we are. And we suffer from a case of mistaken identity where most people walk around in a trance. They're sleepwalking through life, tiptoeing, trying not to upset anything just to stay safe enough. And most people are trying to get through, to survive, rather than thrive. And I would argue, I would really strongly argue that the major driver of people not fulfilling their potential, of not feeling well, is the business of unfinished business. It is our unfinished business in our lives that has the most important impact on health. And when I first was in school, I thought it was people's physical misalignments and nutritional imbalances that cause their problems. And I don't believe that. And not only that, the evidence doesn't support that. Sorry to the chiropractors in the room. But there's zero good evidence to support that. Nutritional, yes. But the structural piece, not as much. Nutritional, yes, absolutely. But more importantly than what you're eating, and I hate to be trite about this because you've all heard this, is what's eating you. And what's eating most people is their unfinished business. And it's the toxic emotions of grief, of anger, of sadness, of resentment, of fear, of that loss of a dream, of that sense that because we failed, because we fell on our face, because we got sick, because some tragedy happened, we lose the connection to that essence. And that inner world, that inner working of disconnection and that driving state of fear and of unfinished business, I tell you that's the biggest effect on human beings. And you know, we're in the information age nowadays, and things are different in the last 10 years, 20 years. We are more connected than ever. And that hyper-connectivity makes us even more integrated with each other and even more sensitive to what's going on everywhere, more than ever before. More than ever before. So to say it simply, health is the natural order of things. And I'll describe physiologically why I think that's the case. Not woo-woo, wacko stuff, but actual physiology. Like why that I really believe that you can rely on this amazing mechanism in your body, this capacity you have to self-organize and to self-heal and be the best version of you, that there exists some amazing organizing intelligence within all of us. In fact, I heard and I read that one quantum physicist had said that the chance of us being here, human life on Earth, would be the same as if a tornado had ripped through a junkyard and built out of nothing a 747. I find that interesting. That the probability of us being here with the way we are, with the intelligence we have, with the possibility we have, with the feats of human evolution and the magic of life and all of its diversity is the same probability of a tornado whipping through a junkyard and creating a 747 out of nothing. Isn't that amazing? So what is that intelligence that creates something from no thing? And what is no thing? And how does that relate to our micro lives of stress and our dreams of who we want to be, of what we want to heal from, of what we feel called to become, of what we feel holds us back? And how does that drive our physiology? That's really what I want to discuss tonight. My hope is that from that you'll see that health is the natural order of things. Stress, and I'll define that more concretely in a moment, is what breaks things down. And the transformation of that stress is a process of alchemy, of a transformation. Does anybody know what the word alchemy means? What the art of alchemy was or purported to be? Anyone?
Elemental change.
What's that?
Like changing different elements in the gold.
That's it. You have a definition?
I was going to say changing base metals into gold.
That's it. And it's an amazing metaphor. The transformation of base metals or metals of lesser value or of lesser constituency into something greater. Into something greater. And the alchemist was a person who through their intention and aspiration and action, skillful action, was able to then transmute base metals into something of a higher order. That's the inner process I'm describing. You are the alchemist. Great book by Paulo Coelho, if anybody hasn't read it. I'll give you two real world examples of alchemy in action. Because alchemy could seem a bit abstruse. Is anybody here married or engaged and has a large or not large rock on your finger? Not that it matters. Anyone? No. If you do, put them in a bucket and pass them up front.